Hey everyone, welcome back. And I just kind of wanted to come in and quickly tell you I know I vanished, but I'm still around and I'm still watching, I'm still reading, and I definitely have been really wanting to do some readings for you guys. But unfortunately, events in my life have come in where I have to take care of them. I have to help my family. So these are the reasons why I've been kept away. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys were all aware that I'm still going to be here. I'm going to come back when things have calmed down because there is still so much work to do. There's so much work to do. And what we just witnessed this last election cycle is only the beginning. It's only the beginning, and it's going to be, there's going to be procedures and things that's going to have to be put into place in order to bring back the balanced government that works for the people. So, but I think we're off to a really good start. And I think many of you will feel that way. Just to kind of catch up, was it a blue wave? I mean, I know if any of you have followed all of my videos, I would see blue waves, but then I wouldn't see blue waves. And then I was like, and in my very last reading on whether the Democrats or how the Democrats were going to do or how the Republicans were going to do, I wasn't fully seeing a blue wave, but I was definitely seeing, with all the kings and knights on the Democrat side, you were definitely seeing some very strong, very active movements for the Democrats. And while the Republican side wasn't really necessarily showing a complete loss, but they definitely showed that they were going to be bound up and that they were going to spin it. So those two things are in play right now. And I think we saw what the president did with the spinning of his viewpoint. So, I mean, if he's considered the entire Republican Party right now, then that would be the spinning. I don't think the Republicans have, unless they're like true followers of the Trump thing, whatever Trump is doing, they follow that. They definitely are sitting there and fighting the system and trying to sow discourse and doubt into the system. So and in that respect, that brings me back to my own state with Arizona, that I'm really proud of Sally McSally and Sinema, and how they both have handled the count as we went through the week of handling it, but neither of them were willing to bring that whole disarray. We trusted the system, and the system happened, and we have a Democratic senator, our first female, which is pretty awesome for Arizona. I'm not surprised by Arizona. I think Arizona always has shown these types of things. If they feel like somebody's strong, they will. It was a close race between them two. I don't think McSally is out. She still has a really good chance of taking over Senator McCain's seat if Jon Kyl steps down and Governor Ducey appoints her to the position. So she's not down and out. So, I mean, even if I don't fully agree with her positions and what she was campaigning on, she still has a chance. And you know what? Her people are people. I just don't like the election discourse. So anyways, I am rambling. What I wanted to do is I want to do a reading on the new energy coming into the Democratic House, or into the House, the Congress, because there's a lot, and I'm going to focus on the Democrats because in a really long time ago, I did do a reading when it was saying that the Democrats didn't have a voice yet, but it looked like a bunch of new blood was coming in. Well, that is happening now. There is so much new blood coming in, and they are very fired up. They're very energized. They're very excited. They have what the people want. They've been out there on the streets talking to people. So these new kids are coming in, and they are going to want to make the change and try to put the policies in place that the people have elected them to do so. They're going to come up to issues. They're going to come up to the established Democrats. And we can already see the old guard and the new guard starting to clash a little bit. Well, we need to understand that even if the old guard, they have knowledge, they have experience on how to run the house, how to run it and keep it moving forward. But the new blood is important because their old ideas weren't working, and we have this new blood coming in. They need to be able to marry the two. So I want to see how that energy is working and how it's going to go. Okay. Sorry I rambled, but I just wanted to kind of catch you up. So I will be back. I will do more, and we got 2 years to go, and I'll be here. So let us move forward. So wanted to see how the Democrats are going to handle the new blood coming in. How's the new blood going to go? I mean, let's just hope it's not a bunch of fighting. I am in a new place right now for doing readings. I'm under natural light. So if it changes a little bit, because my old place has been taken over by my kids. So when I retrieve it back, I'll use it again. But here we are. All right, how will the Democrats, the new blood, and the old guard, please let us know. All right. Oh, there was an interesting drop there, wasn't that? All right. Let's see what we got. What is the overarching theme for all of this, right? Government, the Hierophant. All right. So the new blood is coming in. We have, and if you, the last video, it was like, this was one of the outcome cards for the Democrats. It is the balance. It is the bringing the balance back, the bringing order back into the government. It will put the brakes on Trump's agenda, especially, and probably the Republicans' agenda. So that I think when it comes to a mandate, it's more or less, I think the people are just saying, you know, we got to keep checks and balances. I think that's really what the big mandate is to keep checks and balances, and with Republicans rolling over and having no backbone and no spine. Because remember, once upon a time, we were always saying that about the Democrats. Now the Republicans are doing it. They don't have a spine. And now we have the Democrats who are they have been elected to put checks and balances in, to bring the balance, to bring order back. And that's where we are right now. So this is about bringing order back in, and we have all this new blood coming in. The change of guard in the House has happened, okay? Now, it hasn't come into play yet because these kids are going through their little initiations, they're going through their orientations and all their stuff about getting into Congress. It will happen, I think, in the new year. So what is in the past? Okay, so a lot of activity, a lot of actions going on. You know, forward motion. So I would probably call this the election. It was fast, it was furious, and even though everything kind of is revealing itself, there are still many seats not decided as the recounts are going. So a lot of these Democrats that are winning, a lot of them are winning by very, very thin razor margins, and a lot of them are they were behind election night, but as the counts started coming in, the votes started coming in, they started counting all the votes, including the mail-ins, the early votes and all that stuff. And these guys everything started to flip, and they won their seats. This is what happened to Sinema. So this is the thing that, you know, all of us were driving home. Your vote matters. You count. And if anything proved anything, this election proved it. Your vote counted. So don't forget that. 2 years is ways off, but it ain't that far off. You got to remember your vote counts. Okay? So here we are in the present. So people are very happy with the result, right? So here we are in the present. Everybody is really happy. You know, the Democrats were brought in to, and they were elected in to put the brakes on Trump, and he's going to say not, but I definitely know this. It's just that feeling you have. Put the brakes, put some checks and balances back into the system that was missing. And if you've heard the Republicans, you know, McConnell plead with, you know, the new Democrats and Pelosi, don't impeach Trump. Well, honestly, truly, I don't really think anybody should be impeaching him. There's things coming up, I think, in the future for that, and we'll get into it. But people are right now currently happy with the results. You know, not everybody, but we're talking just Democrats right now, the people who voted for these for their candidates that made it in, they are happy and satisfied, okay? So I'm not talking about any of the Republicans who totally hate this. I'm talking about the Democrats. The Democrats are pretty happy right now. All right. The challenge that's going to be facing them, working together. Okay, the Three of Pentacles. That is going to be a challenge because, like I said, you have the old guard, the old blood, who understand how things are doing, but they also have this set idea of how of what they want to do, but the people bring in this new blood, right? And the new blood is saying, no, we need some new ideas, we need some new things. Those two things are going to have a tough time mixing together. Okay. I think the younger people are going to need to understand and look to the people who are established, who've been in this business, or who've been in the business for a long time, to understand that they have the knowledge on the inner workings of Congress. They're coming in with these new ideas. The old guard is going to teach them how it's all run. The thing that they need to do is not back down from what they believe their constituents want, and push that forward, and the old guard to accept these new ideas coming in, because if they continue doing the same thing, they're going to lose again the next time around. They must evolve. So working together is going to be a challenge with these the old versus the new. It's going to be a challenge. All right, the future though. All right, the future is going to be... So this has to do with money in politics. This is, there's these donors are coming in. So these young new guys are going to be faced with the fact that people are going to be throwing money at them, right? Because they want them to vote for their agenda. These are the lobbyists they're going to have to deal with. These are the large donors who have put money into them coming in and calling in their favors. These are the things that these new kids are going to have to contend with. And they're going, but a lot of them did not, right? They didn't do it. A lot of these new kids that were voted, and I keep calling them kids, and I'm not calling them kids because they are physically kids. Some of them are young adults, but the reason why is because they're the new energy in. They're not the old guard, right? So these guys are going to have to contend with this stuff that continuously happens within Congress. Some of them might be allured by it and they will follow into it and they will accept it. Others may be very strong, just like Bernie Sanders was, and hold strong. The constituents needs to remind them, you as the constituent needs to remind them who elected them and what their purpose is, and they need to be able to see it. So they're going to be faced with this money that's going to come in, and they're going to learn a lot about the big money being in there. So, all right, so let's go back into the past. The underlying motion was the Queen of Swords, the sword of truth, the speaking the truth. And you know what? Females. How many females are coming into the Congress or into the House right now? Quite a few. It's a very diverse group. It's very diverse people. I heard somebody said on one of the news channels, I don't remember, they said, wow, look at this class coming into the House. It looks like America. And because you had all sorts of people, the sorts of, from different backgrounds, different cultures, different colors, it was just beautiful. It was beautiful to see, to see all of it. And then you see a lot of the female energy that's there. The females definitely were. Sometimes now I'm beginning to wonder if the Queen of Swords that we kept seeing and everything that was going to stop Trump in his tracks was not necessarily a person, but the females, the female movement. And here we are now with the House of Congress with a lot of females in there. And they're going to assist in bringing the brakes. And there's a lot of men in there too. So I'm not discounting them at all, because they're going to be really important too. So all of you guys in the House are going to be important. So, but this female energy is the sword of truth. It is speaking the truth. It is speaking your truth and going forward. And it created this flying energy, right? So I think it's great. All right. So currently we have the happiness. And we have temperance. So there's a call to temperance and a call to balance. Okay, so really everybody that has been elected into the Congress, we already see some skirmishes going between the going between the old establishment and the new establishment. Temperance is called for, okay? You cannot go into Congress divided, right? You can't, I mean, even inside your own party, don't divide, because you need to unite in order to be effective against, a president who is running unchecked and it just totally disregards the Constitution. The House needs to be reminded, stay united and temperance is called for. They need to stop the bickering, stop it, and start moving forward as a united front. But they do need to blend, because temperance is also, if you see her blending from one cup to the other cup, it is blending. So it is blending of the new ideas to the old ideas. So they need to blend it. Don't sit there and be, rigid of the my side, your side thing, okay? So what's the challenge here? Okay, the union. Okay, this is the union. So we were talking about this. This is the union of the new and the old, right? The union of bringing them together. The union, this could be the marriage card too, but this is the union of bringing the two together, the old and the new, right? Bringing them together. So that would be a challenge, okay? And the outcome, it's the Wheel of Fortune. So the fates have turned. So the thing is you have to accept the fact that the tide is changing. The tide is turning. This is, again, when we're talking about our government in the United States is going through a major shift and a major change. This is all fated energy. This is all part in design. So every time I see the Wheel of Fortune show up when I deal with these political readings, I definitely see karma. We're moving through karmic situations, we're moving through fated situations, and this is all leading us somewhere, and it's not going to change. You can't stop the wheel, but you are going to have to adjust to the wheel. So this is the Democratic Party understanding that the fates are shifting, things are shifting. It is no longer, the old is no longer working. You have to adjust yourself to the change because the new is coming in. This is asking you to bring temperance, to blend the old and the new. So the old guard is going to be really important, but they do have to understand the new kids that are coming in have new ideas and new energy that was not there before for the old guard. That's the reason why they were out of power, because they just couldn't figure it out. You got this new group coming in with this new passion, new energy. They need to bring it together. They need to bring that into the fold so they can move forward and get the people's job done, okay? So on to the bottom. So the moon. Okay, in the past, we had some fear, okay? There was some fear that this blue wave wasn't going to happen, right? This blue wave just wasn't going to happen. There was some fear about it. There was some worry about it. And I think that was very evident. And because, people were afraid if the Republicans keep control, there's no way to stop Trump. So there was a bunch of fear about that, right? So they're all out there speaking their truth. The energy runs. The energy flies forward. The spoof truth, they're speaking their truth. And then you have the secrets with the moon. So there was a bunch of fear. There were some secrets. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still some things that are still unresolved from the election that is trying to get resolved right now. There's fear of election tampering, fear of machine malfunctions. There's a lot of fear, and they're valid fears. So, okay. So let's move on. So now we're moving into the present. So rest. Okay. So this is true in terms of the present, right? Because these new kids that are coming in, they are not in position yet. They are in a rest mode. They are in the learning mode. They're preparing for, because the very next card is, the Five of Swords, the fight sword, the fighting card. They're getting ready for battle. So they're getting ready for their positions. They are getting ready to move in. So they're not in office yet, but they are very happy. Everybody needs to temper themselves, right? They need to temper themselves Blend the old with the new. This is going to become very apparent for them. And they are in rest right now as they prepare to go into Congress. So I think that's pretty good. That's pretty, seems to be the image that we're getting here, right? So their challenge is victory. So just because they're in the House and they have control, victory will not be easily attained. There's a reason for that, because they do not have control of the Senate. And they are going to have the power to subpoena, but those are not even going to be very easy, because you have, you're only one half of Congress, and you're a very large half of the Congress, and it's just not going to be as easy as everybody thinks it is. Okay, I mean, I think I've seen it a lot. Trump isn't going to go away easy. He may make it to 2020, and you're going to have to vote him out, but he may not make it. He may be. I don't know. I don't think impeachment is really the proper way forward, because, like I said, they don't have the Senate. The Senate, the Republicans picked up a seat. So it would probably die in the Senate. So impeachment, I don't think, is the right thing. The best thing I think they could do is do whatever they can to protect Mueller, right? Because if anything, it's going to become down to Mueller, and I think maybe eventually it will be down to the fact that maybe that Trump might walk away, because it's starting to get too hard. You've seen his erratic behaviors. It's only going to get worse. It ain't going to get easier. And he's going to siphon between everything is awesome and then, berating everybody behind the scene. I really would hate to be a person working for him right now. So victory will be a challenge. It is attainable, because guess what? It's here. It is attainable, but it's going to be a challenge. They're going to have to work very hard for it, and they're going to have to be smart about it, and they're going to have to be united. You cannot be divided. The Democrats in the House cannot be divided. They must be united. They can be compromising, but they must understand where everybody is, okay? And I'm not talking about hardline united, where you just refuse to work with the Republicans, but you know what? Maybe now is not the time to work with the Republicans until they come to their senses, come to their senses that it is not all about my way or the highway, which they will, because, we've seen them do it through Obama's era. So here we go. The last card, High Priestess. Oh, what a beautiful card to have. This is inner reflections. This is the female energy. This is the getting in touch with the underlying emotions, the intuitive parts of ourselves. We have to work on the intuitive parts, understanding where we come from. This idea of, there are greater things about our positioning. There's greater things with the fate here, right? That's at stake right now. And knowing that intuition, it is understanding the intuition. This is also representative of the female energy that is very strong, and that it should be listened to. So the female energy is very nurturing, right? And it's passive, but they need to understand that you cannot, even though you're passive and intuitive, you cannot be running around. You can't be too aggressive, but you got to be strong. This is, be strong with the strength to move forward and move things forward. This is not asking to attack. She's asking to reflect who we are truly as a nation. So the outcome is the new kids are coming in. They're going to have to deal with the old guard, the old money. But this is a fated situation. They're going to have to run, and they're going to have to turn and change with the wheel, because the wheel is going to change. The old guard must understand that the new guard is coming in, and they're going to have to move with that change. You cannot try to conform these kids. May not happen. Trust your instincts. The Democrats do need to trust their instincts, and remember, this also showed up the very first time when they didn't have a plan. If they have a plan, they need to let everybody know. You can't just keep it secret, because then it looks like you have nothing at all. So tell people what's going on, right? All right, let's see what this last card would say. The new energy, the knights. So when they come into office, they will pick up the knight energy and they will charge with the wands, with the new ideas, the new energy. It will move forward. They will create things, create new energy. So I think the Democrats have definitely a really good blend here. There's some warnings here, just about the old versus the new trying to blend and work together. But I don't see any infighting inside of these cards with them fighting with each other. It's just the challenge to bring it together. And I think they can do it. They just need to make it happen. And they need to don't take the same route the Republicans did, because when all the Tea Party people came in, because they were the new energy for the Republican Party, but they took hardline stances and then they fractured, and then the Republicans are now fractured, right? And a lot of the moderates have been shoved out. I mean, they didn't join together, they fractured themselves. And the Democrats need to take a lesson from that with this new blood coming in. Don't fracture yourself. Come together, right? Bring it together, because it's going to be needed the next 2 years as we march forward into bringing a government that works for the people. So I hope you enjoy this reading. I will be back as soon as I can. I will sneak in some readings when I can. I hope you all are patient with me. So I hope you all are well. Keep your heads up. Keep focused. Enjoy the holiday seasons. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. And take care of one another too as well. All right, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.